Hello and welcome to another episode of Forsaking My Father's Religion. On this show, we share powerful stories of Muslims who have forsaken their father's religion, Islam, and embraced Christ, who is the embodiment of truth. You might wonder why we chose the name Forsaking My Father's Religion. Well, it's because I, Muhammad Faridi, as a former devout Muslim, personally walked this journey. I forsook my father's religion, Islam, and accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. In fact, I've written a book with this very title, which is being now translated to 9 different languages. If you're interested in reading my book, you can get a free copy on our website. iranchristians.org is our website. Just head there, main page, there's a tab called free book, fill the form, and if you are in the US, I'll send a free copy to you, a hard copy to you, and if you're outside, electronic versions would be available maybe in your native language. Additionally, if you're looking for tracts, Bibles in Farsi or Arabic, just reach out. We'll make sure you get them. Now, let's dive into today's episode and hear the inspiring story of our amazing guest that they share their journey of forsaking their father's religion.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Mohammed. Thank you so much for the opportunity and privilege to come share my story
Of
with the
course.
people of God, a Christian community like this. It all started that's about 16 years ago, I guess. 16 years ago, thereabout. I'm from Nigeria. I came from a family where Christianity is prohibited. My dad was an imam, and at infant we started learning about the Arabic. We started learning about how to pray. We started learning about hadith. We started learning about the Muslim faith, right? So we grew in that environment, and up to the time I went to Arabic school. They took me to Arabic school to go and learn and all of those things. Sometimes you'll be beaten for not knowing the Arabic, right? Because we are being taught in Arabic, not in English or our local dialect, right? I'm from Edo State, right, in Nigeria, the northern part, right? So we were being beaten and all of that up till the time I left my city, the city that I was, and I went to Lagos, Nigeria. Um, it happens that as of that time, I had grown. I was becoming more aware, a little by little. So I had an encounter, but before then, I could remember several years ago. I think I was quite young. We because there is no church in my community then, so there was this. They were doing crusade, right? They were doing crusade, and this crusade is such a way that the Christian community that were in the other city, in the other town, in the little town, so they were doing it. But in our old time, you can't see anything that represent religion. I mean, Christian religion or anything about Christianity because it's quite prohibited. So when they came in the night, they wanted to come and create an awareness for the crusade that is to be done. I guess we rebel against them, we beat them, we injured some of them, and we thought we were doing the right thing for humanity and for God as well, for Allah. So it all happens like that up until I left the city and I went to Lagos, Nigeria, where my encounter started.
So the Christians that they came to your area to do a crusade, the night before the crusade, you guys attacked them and beat them up.
Yeah, we did,
And you were
we did.
thinking that you're doing this to the service of God, Allah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
And then you said that your family, your dad is an imam.
yes, yes.
So he was a Muslim leader in the community.
Yeah, he was a leader. He was a leader in the community.
Wow. Brother Abdul, would you tell us why would you need to learn Arabic? Why couldn't you pray to Allah in your local dialect or English? Why they had to force you to learn Arabic in order to communicate to the God of Islam?
I didn't think they really teach us. I don't think there's a reason behind that, because but the general notion that we had was probably um, your prayer would be more effective.
Hmm.
Probably it will be more effective because you are communicating in the original language,
Hmm.
and it will be more accepted when you are communicating. Allah hears. It seems He hears that kind of a language rather than other language. That was our understanding then. That was what we knew as it were in our own practices. That was what I knew. That was what I knew. We were told.
Exactly. Exactly. It's because Allah only speaks and accepts your prayer in Arabic. And being a Muslim means to be Arabized, means to be an Arab. It's not a religion. It's
Mm.
a political movement to move everybody from whoever they are to being to being a good Arab, meaning to be a good Muslim. So, and then these people that they came to do the crusade. So, what happened after that, brother? After you beat him up, what happened?
Okay, so some of them they cried and left. Now here is the great testimony. Some of them cried and they left. It was so horrible. Some of them were kind of disappointed, kind of, because they were people we knew in the community, right? Because it's a kind of a small community town, and everybody knows everybody. So they went, right. I so much believe those they were part of the people that influenced my faith conviction of Jesus Christ, my belief in Christianity, and my encounter. Now, how do I mean? One of the guys that we beat, his name was Gabriel, and the other woman I remember vividly. The other lady, she was a lady then. I could remember her. Now they are all pastors today because they were like people we knew. No, he is now a pastor today, the Gabriel. After 20 years, we saw each other, right? And the woman the lady rather, that led the awareness, the Christian awareness for the crusade. I saw her, that was about 20 years later. I was told about her rather, that she's still in the faith, doing the same thing, and I haven't had the opportunity to meet with her. But for the Gabriel, we actually saw the guy I broke his hand. We actually saw 20 years later, and the kind of love he still showed me, the kind of welcoming that he still showed me, and he was shocked to hear that I'm not a Christian, and he told me he heard that I'm not a Christian, and the little things we are doing for the kingdom and how we are sharing God's love to the community as well. So it was quite overwhelming and heart heartbroken breaking indeed.
Yeah. So the very person that you persecuted, now you reconnected with him, and now he knows that you're a Christian. So tell us. So this was your family. You coming from northern Nigeria, because which is the region of Boko Haram, which is the region of Islam's dominance of Nigeria. From a family that is strict Muslim. Your dad is Imam, Muslim leader, and then you come from that type of a background. You have forced to be you were forced to learn Arabic, and then eventually you do your prayers and everything in Arabic, even though you didn't speak it. So, what other practices as Muslims you had to do growing up?
Okay, some of the practices.
Yeah, tell me some of the practices. What did you fast during Ramadan, or what other? How often did you go to the mosque? Did you ever go to the pilgrimage? Can you share some of those other things, other activities as
Okay.
Muslim?
Yes, I was really doing fasting.
Hmm.
Okay, so I could remember we were doing Ramadan because we were a community of farmers, so we were giving it to farming. So during the Ramadan, it was quite hectic. Now you're doing Ramadan, your family, and the part that I came from um, is quite a very hard. We have a very harsh weather and all of that.
Mhm.
So we'll be fasting. We were doing fasting. We were praying, but some of us were at a point we are not that committed. A time will come, but it was more like we were showing the facial commitment, but we are not that committed. So a
Mhm.
time will come, maybe we can do out of 30 or 31, we might do maybe 20, as the
Yeah.
case may be. And then as touching the prayer, yeah, we were really praying. We were really praying, but our prayer it wasn't coming from the heart. How do I mean? Now, there is a mark that it is supposed that every Muslim must have in their forehead that shows that you are praying. There is a mark, right, in their forehead. Probably as you are bowing down, it shows that you're praying indeed. And then you're a committed Muslim. So I could remember myself and my friends. We're praying. We're praying 5 times. We're praying. Sometimes we'll meet up. Sometimes we'll be forced because you just have to follow the rules. It's not that even it's convenient, it's not convenient. You just have to follow the rules. So I can remember myself and my friends, Muslim friends, as we are young, will be um, bowing our head to the ground and then rubbing our head just to make sure that we have that mark on our forehead, the black mark that shows um, that shows a sign of committed. Yeah. So you have to put it. So we were doing it. We were doing it. I could remember. I think I did it for like, is it a month plus thereabout? So my head became quite was showing the sign and it was
Yeah, you get
pointing out
callus
kind of.
here. Right here,
And
you
then
get a callus.
yes, yes. So I did that, and my dad, my dad, we are much in a family. He got married to six from a polygamous family. So when he saw me, he was like, "Yes, I'm doing well. I'm following, and it shows that I'm on the right path and all of that." But meanwhile, within me, I know what I was doing, and I was doing all of that so that they will know and just accept me, and so that they will know that I'm following, kind of, not because I really have a personal experience of what I was doing. I was convinced within me of what I was doing, but just to make sure that um, they get to know. It's just like pleasing everybody, like a Pharisee. So
So you practiced Islam. You did this prayer and rubbing your face to the dirt to mark your forehead to have this callus, this thing that Muslims, committed Muslims, that they supposedly pray so much that they get this mark here,
yeah,
this darker spot here. You did that
right,
because you wanted to please others. It wasn't like because you're
yeah,
committed to God, but it just wanted to show them that how committed to Islam, and how you wanted to be accepted by them, by the family and the community. Correct?
yeah, correct.
Wow, wow. So it wasn't
Yeah, I did
a
all of that.
service unto God; it was a service unto man. But you didn't mind. You just wanted to have the marks. You wanted to have the acceptance of the family and the community, and show them how good of a Muslim you are, even though you weren't praying, but you're rubbing your forehead to the dirt in order to get it calloused and marked.
Yeah.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, because of that, I think my dad said he was going to take me. I wanted to join the military. From the military, then I would travel to what's it called, to Saudi Arabia to go and learn to become a Muslim scholar at a young age, to become a scholar, because how the way I was committed. As of that, the way I was quite committed, though I was stubborn, though I was recalcitrant, but when it comes to following the rules to the core, he knew I was always there.
Wow.
And that was why when I got born again, it was quite disheartening.
Wow. 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 So you were on the path to become a Muslim scholar, and then your dad was so proud of you. You're practicing Islam to the core and everything. But tell us, brother, what happened next, and what the situation turned. You're so story is getting really interested every second. So tell us what happened afterward.
Oh, okay. This is it, right? I'd left the community. I've left my community, so I went to a different community entirely. Now, the community I went to, that was Lagos. I traveled down to Lagos to stay with my brother. So, and as I stayed with my brother, we were together 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and we were following. And I was still a Muslim. Now, a time came, I had an encounter, and the encounter I had was so much. That was the year 2000 and late 2008 and early 2009. Within that period, so the encounter I had was so strong that I woke up from that revelation. I started crying. I started crying. So I was crying profusely. I was just crying. I don't know why I was crying, not because of any, I don't know what I was crying, but I saw the person of Jesus appear to me, not his face, but his personality. And then he left a mark on me, a mark of remembrance within me to know that there was this deep knowing that resonated with my person to know that you have encountered Jesus. But I did see his face, I did see his leg, but there was this deep knowing within me. So when I woke up from that experience, it was quite troubling. So it went on, end of the year, and then the new year, 2009. So I had a community of friends that we do play football, soccer together, football or soccer, whichever. So in the community then, so one of them, I said, this is what I have experienced. Oh, he said, you experienced this? I said, okay. Well, I don't know. He doesn't know anything about that. He was a Christian, but not committed Christian. So he said, okay, fine. Let's go to, uh, there's this church. I don't want to mention the name. I don't know. Okay, let me mention the name where I met the youth pastor, and I so much love the church so much, even though I'm not there. I was there for about 10 to 15 years. It's called, I know you know it, it's called Redeem, right? Yeah, the Redeemed Christian Church of God, RCCG. So I was there, the pastor welcomed me, and the young pastor, the youth pastor, and he said, I heard you want to see me. I said, yes, I want to see you. And he said, oh, brother, congratulations. First of all, I saw the way you play on the field. Oh, I said, thank you, but that's not why I'm here. I had an encounter. The encounter I had, this is what, and this is what. But I know within me what the encounter means, but I don't have the right language, the right understanding to process it. And I don't have the track record to the wisdom necessary to pioneer this encounter and bring it into what it really is. Because first of all, I'm a Muslim. And secondly, I stay with my brother who is a Muslim, and it's prohibited. So here are my fears, and this is the encounter that I've had. So after telling him, and he started explaining, he started saying many things, preaching the Bible and all of that. I was not interested in the Bible preaching because I don't know what he was saying. To me, I don't know what he was saying. And he started talking, and he said, brother, are you ready to go on this journey with God? Because God wants your heart. He wants you to be his lover. He wants you to know his love. He wants to reveal himself more to you. He wants you to be a committed son unto him, not just his servant, but his son that we extend this life to as many. So he quite spoke, and I was broken. I said, yes, I am ready. So he prayed with me and told me to go, that I could always come back and escape, that my brother shouldn't know and all of that. I could always come back because he was an officer. He was an officer. He was a police officer, quite police officer. So he said I shouldn't let him know and all of that. I said, okay, no problem. Meanwhile, prior to that time, after the encounter in December, yeah, that was December, thereabout, and my brother's wife, who happens to be a Christian from this big denomination, she was their treasurer, secretary, thereabout. So she got married to my brother. And as the custom is, when they got married, she had to convert from being a Christian to Muslim. So she became a Muslim, um, and that was it. So she hid her Bible in her bag. One of those days, she hid her Bible in her bag. So that my brother would not see anything because it's prohibited. She has converted, and she has been accepted to the family. So she hid the Bible in her bag, right? And I took the Bible before meeting the man, the pastor, the youth pastor, a brother of mine that was very, very good in God's teaching and all of that. So he hid the Bible. I took the Bible and there was a Quran in the table. I picked the Quran and said, okay, fine. Now I want to know, I was quite naive, right? I wanted to prove that with my naivety. I said, I want to know if truly the God of the Christian is the true God or is the God of the Muslim on the Quran. So I put the Quran on top the Bible because I've heard story like when you put the Quran, those telltale that when you put the Quran on the Bible, it will switch. When you put the Bible on the Quran, blah blah blah. So I said I'm going to do this today. So I put it there. So I went out. I went outside. So why coming in? I don't know what happened. They got separated. I don't know if somebody has gone inside to go and do that because the door wasn't locked. So I can't really say. So when that happened, it got me um thinking as well. It got me more convincing. It was quite convincing to the Christian faith as well. So I in the evening of that day, I was taking my brother's wife, who was quite heavy. She was heavily pregnant. I was taking her on a stroll so that she could just ease herself off. Now, when we got to a place where they were having this crusade in the field, where they do play football, soccer. So it was an open field. So I just whispered, I said, won't you join your people since you say you are feeling pain? Probably your people can help you out. He said, no, she can't do that. That I'm setting her up. I said, no, you can't. Actually, I won't tell anybody. Before then, I was be the one agitating for the fact that anything that has to do with Christianity in the home is prohibited, and that anything that happens, I will always report to my brother. Now, this is me pushing her because I don't know what was happening within me. There was this fighting that was going on, this war within that was going on within me. God trying to rescue my soul, rescue me from a path that I've loved so well. So I told her to go. So when she went there, I took her there because she was heavily pregnant. She sat down and I sat behind her. So they were praying. They were praying, and I didn't understand what they were praying. So I was saying, Allah have mercy on me, staggerful. So they were praying their prayer, saying staggerful. So I couldn't contain what they were doing. It's as if it was quite there was this resistance, this resentment in my spirit. There was this fight within me. So that was how I took myself, I left the place. I went to stay outside the fence. So I was waiting. So she looked, she couldn't see me. She came and said, what happened? I said, no, I don't know what's happening there. I don't know, understand it. I can't stay there. So that's how I left. So that's how my journey began. When I went to the church, to the youth pastor, he put me through um, about what Jesus had done, the life of God, and how God has the power, the transformative power in the world, and how God has been looking for me and He wants my soul.
Wow, wow. So, wow. So this journey started again in another crusade, and then this crusade was happening. They were preaching the gospel, and then You were in the midst of all of this, and then you were saying, Astaghfirullah, Astaghfirullah. I am running to Allah for
Yeah,
protection.
yeah,
Wow. You're in the middle of all of that, but you still were so afraid. There was such a resistance in your spirit toward the Christianity or the message of Christ. Correct, brother?
yeah, correct. I guess there was this war within. There was this fight, just like the Bible will say there was war in heaven, right? So there was this war within me, the battle for my soul. That was what I would say, the battle for my soul. I think there was this resistance from the devil from the path I was coming from. So Christ was trying to rescue me. At the same time, I guess my personal inclination, my personal attachment to where I'm coming from was quite resisting that love that Christ was giving. So there was this war within me that was clashing light and darkness at the same time. And that was why I was quite I was stable in that crusade, and I left. I went outside.
Wow. Wow. And then when can you tell us exactly when this war came to an end and the victory was belonged to Jesus?
Okay. It continued until I met the youth pastor.
Mhm.
After we met and we spoke, I went home, and then he told me that I can get the Bible to read. I said, no, there's no way I will be reading the Bible because in my place is prohibited. Where my home, my brother, is prohibited. I can't. He said, okay, what are we now going to do? I said, don't worry. I will escape some other time to come meet you again. I will escape. Don't worry. He said, okay, I should give him my numbers. I said, I don't have a phone. I don't have a number for now. Don't worry. When I need you, I will always know how to meet with you. So I left. There was this war within. I couldn't rest. I don't know what he was. Probably was interceding for me and praying for me. So 2 days later, I came back again to him. So he now said, fine, there's this prayer that do go on. It was kind of a revival movement for the youth and teenager from 21, 22, 22 down one, 23 down one. Yeah, about, yeah. So he was quite 25 then. Yeah, I think it was 25, 26 there about. So he said there's this movement that is ongoing that he teaches the young teens and all of that youth, and they pray every evening. So if I could join them for prayer and all of that, I said, wow, I will have to think of it. So I went home. So I pick up my Bible. I pick up the Bible, not my Bible, rather, my brother's wife's Bible, where she went to hid it in her bag, a reddish King James version of the Bible. So I went to pick it up. So I started reading. I don't understand. So I will read. I read the story of Abraham. I read from Genesis to Exodus, the first night. Okay, I wasn't understanding. I kept on reading. I wasn't understanding. So I continued reading. I was reading it. I said, okay. But at the same time, I found myself reading it. I was quite stuck to it. I kept reading it. I kept reading it since it was written in English. So it was quite accessible and all of that. So I was reading it. I was reading it. So I read it to I think Leviticus thereabout. I mean Deuteronomy thereabout. I will never forget when I read Deuteronomy 28. Yes, I read it to Deuteronomy 28. And then I went to put it back because my brother was has gone to work in the night, in the evening night was on the night duty. So he went, and that was how I read it, and I put it back where I saw the Bible. I didn't even allow my brother's wife to know. I put it back there. So I slept. So in the morning, I went back, like the afternoon, so evening, I went back to the church because he was always in the church. So the church employed was always in the church. So I went to him and we were speaking. I said, I've been reading the Bible. There's this love. I was crying. I was crying to him. He was not crying as well. I said, there's this love that I'm seeing. There's these things that played out and all of that. I don't know. I'm beginning to. So I get God was already softening my heart and the battle was being won gradually. So because I'm quite because of how we grew and the kind of training, how they will flog you in the Arabic, we're quite stubborn, kind of stubborn people, kind of. Yeah. So, and you don't, is, I think love is a sign of weakness when you want to show that you are weak as it here.
Mhm.
It's a sign of weakness, kind of. So we are trained in such a way. They will have to use, they will have to carry block if they ask you to recite a Quran verse and you don't get it, you carry block, they'll flog you and all of those things. So I told him, okay, I will join you people today. So he was quite happy. And after we spoke, he was crying and I was crying as well. So we went upstairs. It was up down there. So we went upstairs and I saw younger people. We were burning for God. We were crying. We were praying efficiently and we started praying. And as they were praying, I don't know what they were praying about. So I just joined them. And he said I should be praying, God have mercy. So I joined them until I think the power of God fell on me. I went down to the floor. I didn't know how I got to the floor. But the only thing I knew was that they were pulling me up. He was touching me. It was like, get up, get up, get up. Abdul was pulling me up. And that was the whole stuff.
Okay. So in during the prayer, the presence of God fell on you.
Yeah,
Wow. And
yeah, indeed.
how many years ago is this, brother?
That was about 2009.
2009.
2009 till now, that's about 16 years.
Yes. 16 years. And then when did you get baptized?
I got baptized in the water or in the Holy Ghost.
Water.
I got
Water.
baptized in water in 2010.
So about year after.
2010.
Mhm. And then you,
Yeah.
since it's 15 years that you have been baptized in water and then following Christ.
Yes, actually.
That's awesome. Praise the Lord. Do you have any final thoughts, brother? Do you have anything to add?
Okay. I could remember after the baptism, and he began to review things, and he was speaking, he was carrying the Holy Ghost. He began to review prophecy. And to me, I could remember he was releasing words like what I'm sent to do, the kind of things I will be doing, what God will be doing through me rather, and a kind of transformation, a kind of the younger generation, and bringing the awareness of Yeshua to them and preaching to them. So he spoke in that regard. Now he brought me back to the year 2001. I was quite young when my cousin, who is quite older than me, is about 50 something, is quite older than me. So he called me. I was just imitating the Christian. I was imitating the Christian. I was quite young. So I was imitating the Christian. I said, this is how they do, this is how they speak in tongues. I was just playing with it. So he called me, said, come. He had stayed in the northern part of Nigeria very well and he was quite exposed. He said, do you know that this you are doing, that is Christianity, that you become a pastor one day, you become a follower of God's um of God, and you will preach the gospel to the heathen, and you will take the message of the Messiah to the heathen, to village and all of that. You know you will preach. And he was a Muslim.
Wow.
So I didn't listen to him. I said, and I was quite naive. I didn't listen to him. So when the young youth pastor was preaching, was now releasing the words to me after getting baptized in the Holy Ghost. It was releasing those words to me. He now made more things. It was now connecting back to what I was told.
Wow.
And I can remember it's been a beautiful experience, I would say. Moving from one village to another, preaching the message of the Messiah, doing crusade as well. The crusade I fought people for. Um, Going to places, we've traveled to about 5 states, there about the Enugu, the Benin, the Delta, and the likes, the Ondo State.
Mhm.
So preaching the message of the Messiah, and over 500 people have said yes to Jesus because we have this. There are video evidence. We have this Operation Philip, right? Where we go to Christian community and then we preach to them. We bring a kind of awareness of God to them, create the atmosphere of love, and reveal Jesus to them. So
That's
that's
awesome.
what we have been doing.
That's awesome. That's great, brother. I appreciate you. You went from northern Nigeria's Muslims that you have a father that was a polygamist. He was an imam in the community, trying to teach you Islam, and you trying to prove to them that you're a committed Muslim by rubbing your forehead to the ground and showing dedication to Islam, to hearing the gospel, and then eventually converting to Christianity and now sharing Jesus. What a great story you have, brother. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. And folks, remember, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. Give us likes on this video, and then also share it with people. Many people need to hear this. That people from their communities, from Africa, Nigeria, northern Nigeria, from the area that is infested by the Boko Haram type of a Muslim. Now people even from there are getting saved among Muslims. And God is always gracious and merciful. He's in the business of salvation.